One of the promises of Relativity One is always having access to the latest of what Relativity has to offer. And I want to take a moment to share what are some of my favorite things of what we have delivered and what is coming in the product. And I got to tell you, no matter what I do, I can't ditch this cartoon rendition of my head because it magically appears in all of my presentations. So first, let's just talk about like processing. And I got to tell you, I'm technical. I'm a product CEO. I'm a technical CEO, and I like the dirty business of processing. I think there's something about the complexity of it, the monotony of it, the challenge of being able to do it quickly within Relativity One that I find exhilarating and fun. And I was kind of talking about this with one of our solution folks yesterday, and he's like, "You really minimize the solution when you call it processing, and what we're doing is so much more than that." And what he was saying is that it's more than just processing data. We take raw data and we push it all the way into Relativity, make it ready for review. That's what we call processing here. So to contextualize that a little bit, and the speed and scalability of processing to review in Relativity One is pretty good, and some might even say that processing is the best part of Relativity One. And I got to tell you, so far this year in our engines, we've discovered over 1.3 billion documents through the technology. And so for some of our on-prem customers who are not leveraging it just yet, I would encourage you guys to take another look. Onto analytics. With Relativity Analytics, we provide like a pretty diverse suite of tools that are really flexible enough to be used on all kinds of projects, large and small, data visualization tools to kind of understand your data, and then technology to amplify your review efforts so you can hustle through data as quickly as possible. And the technology is well adopted, and we have ran billions of documents through the engine. But it's still really a fraction of the overall volume that passes through Relativity. And so, there's still work that we need to do to make it easier, to make it a bit more useful and easier to operate at scale. And one of the areas that we've been spending our time in is in email threading, and specifically adding more language support to our threading algorithm, and now we support 8. And we've been making further refinements to our thread visualization, more of those little creature comforts. And one of the more anticipated features that we've recently rolled out is active learning assisted review. And I got to tell you, the feedback we're getting from our user base has been really positive and it's been motivating. Relativity active learning technology is going to be a game changer. I like that. It does not disappoint, both effective and seamlessly integrated. You could probably tell this person was technical. Customers are excited about it because it makes running an active learning TAR project easy. Our solution's like fully integrated. You don't have to move data between systems or risk the integrity of your data. You can go directly from like loading your data to prioritizing data for review within minutes. You find that hot document, you can take action on it immediately. It has real-time intelligence. A lot of these tools, they operate in batches. Relativity, it like learns on the fly, and it continuously learns and calibrates based on all of your coding decisions. It's flexible. Different projects require different strategies. You know exactly what you're looking for. Great, teach the engine to just hone in on those documents. You don't know what you're looking for, run a different type of review. And when you're still trying to figure out what's important, what's relevant. It's super fast and it's efficient. It's easy to get set up and going. And once data is loaded into the system, you can literally start an active learning review project in minutes. And it requires very little administrative support to get started and monitor the progress. Let me show you how it works. All right. Don't look at me. Look at the screens. All right, good. Okay, so starting an active review project, it literally takes minutes. First, you create a project, give it a name, an index, a responsive field of value, and there's quick setting for dupes. You can pick a group of reviewers, and off you go. On the project dashboard, you can then add reviewers to the project. There you go. I'm going to add some reviewers here. So it's all users. Sure, good. Click go. Now I can effectively start the review. Now I am logged in as one of those reviewers, and there's a special view set up for me, and my experience as a reviewer is dead simple. I go in, I get this little notification that I have docs to review. I click this Start Review button, and then off I get then entered into the the review queue, and then I could start coding documents. And as a reviewer, I don't have to worry about checking in batches or checking out, selecting rounds. I just apply my expertise, and Relativity will just keep on serving up all the responsive documents that it can find. The engine will continue to get smarter and learning from those reviewer decisions, and we can also like jumpstart the engine if you want to. We can use previous coding decisions, or we can get really creative and use some other technologies to kind of accelerate the learning of the engine. And here's like a technique that our solutions team gets pretty excited about. So here's a document in Word. It's not a discovery document in Relativity, but it's something that like the case team is cooked up. Basically, it's a summary of the case. And so we can select this text, jump over to Relativity, and then run a concept search against the content of the documents. And since this doc was built to contain all the key concepts of the case, the results of the search are likely to be highly relevant, highly responsive. And then from here, we can jump in and start reviewing and confirming that these are indeed responsive docs. And we'll be feeding it a bunch of responsive documents to the engine really quickly and helping understand responsiveness sooner. And this is just one way that you can jumpstart the engine, but it's totally flexible because, hey, it's Relativity. And as we code or tag documents, the engine will learn and the project will advance. And this bar chart shows how documents have been like tagged and the engine's understanding of the untagged documents. And the line chart shows progress. And as the system serves up the most responsive documents to find, reviewers will see fewer and fewer responsive documents. But then how do you know that when you're done? And we recently added a test which checks to see if any of these responsive documents have effective eluded document identification, which we call the illusion test. And so you specify the settings of the test, and Relativity will then create a sample. Reviewers will then review the docs, and at the end, you're given a summary. And then based on these details, you'll know whether you need to perform additional review. If not, you can confidently just end the project, and off you go. Later this year, we'll be introducing another new guided type of workflow called the QC review. This is where we'll serve up like potential problem documents and where the engine will strongly suggest that a doc is responsive or not, but a reviewer disagrees. This can help you identify someone making some bad decisions, a bad reviewer, and overall just help you like stabilize the model. And another queue that we'll be introducing is a new way to dig into like super large data sets. And say you're still trying to figure out the case, and it's the beginning of the project, and if you have no idea what the type of documents you have, you can conduct the review using coverage queue. And instead of like serving up the most responsive documents, the engine will serve up a conceptually diverse group of documents, and you'll be able to code these while you learn about the documents, while you train the engine. And in many cases, this will be the fastest way to train. And so we'll continue to innovate on active learning, and we believe that the speed and the simplicity of it will get all of our customer base super excited about it. And I can tell you, the customers who have been using it, they are already sharing the wins that they're having with it. And so Rika was working with a Canadian law firm that was gearing up for a big deal arbitration, and they needed to review over 80,000 documents very quickly, short turnaround time. They used the technology, identified the 4% of documents of interest. They saved money ahead of schedule, give the teams more time to prepare. This is the promise of our technology. This is what we do in our industry. Give it a try, check it out. Constantine's active learning session later today, and let us know what you think. Okay. Oh, someone was like, Constantine was excited. Should stand up and just show who you are. So I want to take a moment to talk about the viewer and searching in Relativity. And so we've been working on the viewer, making it faster and easier to use. And so, first is like, we've made doc-to-doc navigation in Relativity and Relativity 1 literally instantaneous with some of the smart caching that we're doing. And we've been adding more content intelligence capability to quickly identify the hidden content that exists in what our analysis has shown 17% of Office documents, 17%. And we're making it easier to expose all hidden content, embed in this, because the full story is critical to what we do. So let me show you how it works. So here's like a Word document. There's a little toaster down there that tells you like, hey, there's some embedded content in there. You can click this button. It shows the embedded hidden content. You can effectively, click on the thing. You can see where the change is, providing the additional context. Here's PowerPoint. You can't really see it there, but it's saying that, hey, there's some hidden content. You also have the toaster. You can click the link. Good. You can see the comment. Good. You guys are actually reading this. Good. You can see the notes. Yes, everything is written in these slides. Good. And then here's like an Excel spreadsheet. Very similar. You can effectively see formulas if you need to, and we provide some indication that there is a formula. You can show hidden rows, hidden spreadsheets. We can show the comments. So all the kind of the embedded, rich, hidden content that are contained in these documents. In the work that we do, this additional context is really important, and I really love the work that the team is doing here, and they have a very strong innovation pipeline. More to come. Another improvement that we are working on is to only highlight the relevant terms in proximity search. That's it. Okay, so this has been a long time in the making, and while we were under the hood, we decided to optimize the highlighting algorithm and how it worked, effectively making it faster. And so when you're highlighting terms on very large documents, we've just made it so much faster. And so here's an example, 100-page document. 100 terms? 100 terms, 6 seconds down to 2. Similar with Excel spreadsheets, one of the things that we hear is that search term highlighting in spreadsheets is horrendously slow, and we're doing a lot to try to make that faster and faster. Again, I really love the work that the team is doing here. The next thing that I'm super excited about is a big deal, and to me it really completes the story. It completes the story of dashboards and relativity. And we're making it really easy to just basically attach a dashboard to a saved search. And so here I'm creating a new saved search. I am attaching this workspace overview dashboard to it. I save it. Okay, thing gets persisted. And now I'm just going to go over to my little saved search section, and I have my 4 different saved searches. And when I run the search, not only does it bring the documents of interest, but then also visualizes it with every type of visualization that I've intended to show. And the reason why I think this is really important, us as like relativity administrators, our job is to really configure the environment to like make it super easy for the practitioners to be able to use the technology effectively. And to me, this is our opportunity to really take the best of relativity and just put it on a silver platter, and so our practitioners can get to enjoy the full benefits of the product. Okay, with GDPR being top of mind, I thought it would be interesting to show a workflow to help with meeting GDPR requirements. There are definitely more, with GDPR, there are now like requirements to notify and gain consent from employees when handling their employee data. And with Relativity Legal Hold, we have some really nice tools to help you do that. And so first you can use Relativity integration points to sync your employee data into Relativity One, and then have like a nightly sync so it's continually updated. And then you can use our visualization technology to slice and dice the employee data and effectively find who you need to send consent to based on whatever's going on. And then you can use our communication feature to send notifications or request consent. Employees receive the email in their inbox. They can acknowledge directly from the email that they've been notified. And then we can effectively report and track progress. We can do escalations, and we'll track the number of times that an escalation has happened. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah? And so this is a great alternative use case for Relativity Legal Hold. And any business process that requires regular notification and attestation can really take advantage of the tools that we have here as well. A key component of this GDPR consent solution we just shown is RIP for getting that regular feeds of employee data into the tool. And RIP is at the core of connecting Relativity to everything that we can. Big part of our vision, connect Relativity to everything. Because when identity can span across instances, and instances can connect to each other, and Relativity can connect to key sources of enterprise data, we can truly streamline the transfer of data like worldwide. That's one of our big goals. And in order to pull this off, we got to create this notion of shared identity. How can I log into one instance and easily access multiple instances? Be able to trust instances with each other. So we can freely communicate with each other. And finally, there's relativity integration points, and this is the framework that makes it easy to move data between the instances. And with RIP, our customers can create all kinds of solutions and workflows. You can create a workflow to run an export at a certain time period when activities load. Maybe you can just run a production straight into your imposing instance of relativity, do it once, or have a rolling production. Build a superstructure to collect coding decisions from multiple active cases across all of your cases, no matter where they're hosted. You can solve problems for your clients that you could never do before, or you could, it just would require a tremendous amount of work. And the usage of this capability has really been picking up, and our customers have been having great wins with it. And so, here's Moray Global has been using the technology to move data and coding decisions between workspaces to reduce data footprint and streamline workflow. FTI has used the technology in multi-party matters, where we have one superstructure of data, but then smaller workspaces for specific parties, keeping their work product secure. It's really motivating for me to see this story take hold and our clients take advantage of it. Let's talk about the community and some cool stuff that we're doing with the community to help create some of those network effects, and that is our community portal. And we have a great resource for you all. That's our community site. We have over 13,000 members in it. We have 12,000 people, 1,200 people logging into it every week, and it's amazing. It's amazing to see the collaboration that is happening up on the community site. And if you're not doing anything, go post your question and go answer a question today. Be part of the community. And I just want to kind of acknowledge all the great work that our developer communities have been doing to innovate on the platform. And it's been growing and they've been busy. And our development partners, these are the people who basically charge for doing relativity development, have clocked in over 200,000 hours of development so far. And it's amazing that the work we're doing. And what will they cook up next? And that's it. These were some of the few of my favorite things in RelativityOne. And just so you know, and by the way, all of this is available in the on-prem product or coming very soon in the on-prem product as well.